that Diddy's team and Mark Agnifilio are still arguing with the judge right now about whether the jury can hear this and whether this can be admitted. You guys, this is groundbreaking, but we have to talk about that. But first, let's talk about why my edges aren't laying. Okay, you know what? No time for that. Let's focus. What's up, you guys? Listen, this is groundbreaking news. This is live from ground zero in the Diddy trial. I have snuck out from court. You guys see, we are at the courthouse. I have snuck out by court, but we need to talk about this. You guys, so many people testified right now. So far, we've had the LAPD police officer. Literally, he's trying to make a big issue about the LAPD police officer that investigated the trash pass. It wasn't a robbery because Kid Cudi didn't say he saw anything robbed, but he investigated the trespass, right? That's an interesting testimony. And Brian still tried to dig into him, but I believe he opened up more questions and it was not good for Diddy. But let's skip over that and let's get into the fire detective. Now, there's a fire detective. You guys don't know, yesterday there was a big war about whether they could testify about the fire, whether they could say that there was partial female DNA found on the bottle, even though the prosecution made a big point and said, when you get into partial female DNA, that could be the girl that sold you. It was an old English bottle with a handkerchief. They're like, that could be the girl that sold it to you. That could be anybody that wanted to take a sip before they pass, right? However, and they were like, okay, fine, that's going to be excluded. However, the detective let out some testimony that was so shocking, so groundbreaking. The court is stunned. Mark Agnifilio was gagged. Literally, Brian still looked nervous. The whole Diddy team is looking like, yo, this can't get into evidence. But your girl was, and this is why it's important to be live in the courtroom, because a lot of stuff they strike from the record. A lot of stuff they can't say, but since your girl is right in the courtroom, baby, we heard it all. Finding your 40, thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all, let's get into this. So we're gonna move around a little bit because I want to jump right into the fire DNA stuff, right? Now, first of all, the Kid Cudi car bombing was worse than the pictures lead you to believe. Right? Because the fire expert or the arson expert said a couple of things. One, he said that, listen, we are getting to the way Diddy got a mole in the LAPD. Baby, it looks like Diddy actually has somebody working from the LAPD, and this ties into Little Rod's lawsuit, okay? Dawn Shock said, you're doing a great job. How are you able to get into court every day? Aren't there tons of people waiting to sit in the courtroom? There is, but I had to use my tattletale magic, you guys. So thank you guys all for that. There is a huge line, but you know, I be elbowing, trying to get in, doing what I can. You have to get there early. You have to get there often. And baby, this is America. You literally have to wait your turn, but I get out there early so I can wait my turn for you guys. So is it easy getting in the courtroom? No. Have I been waking up extra early? Have I been out here in the streets waiting? Absolutely. So that's how I'm getting into the courtroom. Okay. Again, it's open to the public, but they're only in the main courtroom. They're only letting 14 people, the main public in. And I'm always one of the first 14. I've been out here doing it for y'all. Anyway, let's get into this. So the car bomb, it was worse than we thought. Simply Me said, why are they talking about a potential mistrial? Because Diddy's desperate. Diddy been talking about he's getting off. He's been talking about a pardon. He's been talking about, sorry guys, it's bothering me. He's been talking about a potential mistrial. Diddy's team can talk about what they want and spread whatever information they want. It doesn't mean it's happening. Baby, I've been talking about being a billionaire for the last 10 years. And here I am, talking to y'all, trying to hustle, literally thanking y'all for fan funding. Thank you so much for the super chats. So when you're saying, oh, why are they talking about a mistrial? Because they want you to believe that the prosecution's case is not that strong. Prosecution's case is so strong. Prosecution said, we actually might finish a week early. They have Diddy dead to rights, but this new fire thing opens up something completely different. Irma Silva said, girl, you must be hungry. Lunch on me. You know I am. Thank you so much, Irma. I appreciate it, right? The mistrials are only angle, but what are their grounds? Judge Aaron just told them last week, you don't get to dictate what this court does. And you can do a mistrial all you want. It's not even proper. Stop listening to the media garbage. Let me tell y'all something. If Diddy's team had enough for a mistrial, they would have been moved for a mistrial. This is Diddy's worst nightmare. He wasn't prepared for court. Things are moving too fast. If that boy could get a mistrial, we would be on hiatus right now, and I would be sitting there right on my couch, eating chips, talking trash, probably about Kanye West, and waiting for my man to come home. Like, let's be serious, right? Anyway, listen.
All the bullies wanted to sleep with Quinn.